Welcome to Mrs. Flagel's Grade 5 Science Classroom. Today's experiment is a for fun kind of experiment. We've been talking about separating solids and separating liquids, and today we're just going to be looking at how density affects how liquids go together. So there's several things we need for this experiment. We have a graduated cylinder that we are going to pour the liquid into. We have some glycerin. It's kind of a creamy, soapy kind of stuff. We have some water, we have some cooking oil, and then last but not least we have some rubbing alcohol. So what we're going to do for this experiment is we're going to add a little bit of green food coloring, just a couple of drops, to the water. And we simply do that because the water and the glycerin and the rubbing alcohol are all the same color, and you wouldn't be able to see the distinction if you didn't color the water. All right? So we're going to start with pouring the glycerin in. I'm going to try and pour about 10, I'll put 20 milliliters of each. So we're going to put about 20 milliliters of glycerin into here, and as you can see, actually let's just do 10. No, we'll do 20. I can't make up my mind. So there's 20 milliliters of glycerin. Hard to see, but it is there. The next thing we're going to do is pour in 20 milliliters about of water. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour it along the side so that it doesn't plop right in, it just kind of gradually goes in there. Let's have a look. We should have 40, not quite yet. It's close enough. So now we have the glycerin and we have the water, and you can see the water because it's green. The next liquid we're going to put in is the cooking oil. And I'm going to pour that in gently. Got the cooking oil now. Put this down and put the lid on. The last liquid we're going to put in is rubbing alcohol. Pour that gently in. Now, as you can see, we have the glycerin is on the bottom, then we have the green water. We know it's the water because we put food coloring in it. Then we have a layer here of cooking oil, right there. And then we have our top layer, which is rubbing alcohol. So what this tells us is that the glycerin is the heaviest or most dense of the liquids because it's sitting on the bottom. The water is the next most dense because it sits just on top. So it's less dense than the glycerin, but more dense than the cooking oil. Next, the cooking oil sits on top of the water. And last but not least, the rubbing alcohol sits on the very top because the rubbing alcohol is the lightest of all of them. Just for fun, what I do is I mix it up. And I'm going to try and do that without spilling anything. I spilled a little bit, that's okay. All right, and what you get is, immediately you have a big mixture of green and then a little bit of the glycerin. So the glycerin fairly quickly goes to the bottom. Now eventually the rest of these, the cooking oil will end up sitting on the top and the rubbing alcohol will mix with the water. But it usually takes about 24 hours, and if you would like to try this experiment at home, I'd love to hear from you if you can tell me what you noticed after 24 hours. Thank you.